there. This is Katherine Moller with another installment of Tips and Tricks. So today I thought that we would talk about something that actually will benefit all musicians. So this is not just something for people who play the violin or who play the fiddle. This is about the metronome, and the metronome is one of my favorite pieces of equipment. I use mine all of the time when I'm practicing. It doesn't matter if it's for my most recent CD. I used my metronome a lot practicing for that, practicing my Celtic music. I use it all the time when I'm practicing for symphony. So it is really, really handy and can be used with any instrument, any style. So let's start out with really basic. What is a metronome? So I have two different metronomes so that you can see them. So these guys are metronomes. And what it is it gives you a steady beat. So there's a steady clicking sound. And what that does, the reason that that's useful is that it helps you to stay really steady, because all of us, no matter how good we are, no matter how steady we're trying to be, it's really easy to play a little faster when the notes are easier, play a little slower when it gets a little harder. So having something that gives you a really steady beat is really helpful. And you can change the speed of these. And so they're little numbers. You probably can't see it, but they're little numbers all around. And so if we set it to a slower speed, so this is 60, the clicks are slower. And so when I say 60, what that means, it's beats per minute. So there's 60 clicks every minute. So this is, at 60, that's 1 beat per second. And then if I go twice as fast, if I go to 120, then we get a faster clicking. So the two metronomes that I brought to show you, this one, it's a Seiko, S-E-I-K-O. The reason that I like this one is that it's quite loud. And also it's really easy. This dial, you turn this dial and it makes it faster or slower. So it's really easy to use. The other one that I brought is this one, which is a Korg, K-O-R-G. And I like this one because it also has a tuner. So this side is a tuner and this side is the metronome. It's not quite as loud as the other one. So when you're playing the violin, I find it a little bit hard to hear sometimes. But I like the fact it has this little button, which lets me tap in a speed. So if I'm playing something and I'm not sure how fast I'm going, I can tap it in, and then that tells me that that was 123. So if I was listening to a piece, let's say, I could tap in the speed that it's going, and then I would actually have the number. The other thing I like about this one is I can change just by 1 beat per minute. On the other one, on the Seiko, you probably can't see this, but they're actually jumps. So it goes from 60 to 63 to 66. So I can't do just 1 beat increment. So I like this one, especially when I get going faster. This one gives me some more space in there. So how do you use a metronome? Well, the most important thing is to start at a speed where you can easily play whatever it is that you're trying to learn. So it doesn't matter how slow you have to put your metronome to be able to do that. If you need to go 60, that's fine. If you need to go 40, that's fine. The number really isn't important. You have to find a speed where you can play really easily. You play it at that speed, and then you're going to slowly move it up. And I like to use fairly small increments when I'm moving up, because you can go a little bit faster without it being too hard. If you try to jump too much, then you'll find that it's really hard right away. Starting when you're playing with a metronome, it's a little bit like double Dutch, skipping double Dutch. You know, when you're doing the skip rope with the two skip ropes. And it's hard to get in, but once you get in, it's okay. So it feels a little bit like that when you're starting to play with a metronome. So I find what's useful, I'll set my metronome to whatever speed, and then I'll pick a click and I'll start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I start. So I give myself a little count in to starting to play. So once I pick my speed, whatever speed it is, and I start practicing, and then I keep moving it up, as soon as I have trouble, I back my metronome off. I don't go all the way back to where I started. let's say I started at 60 and I worked up to 90 before I started having trouble. I'll back the metronome off, like say to 80, and I'll start from there and I'll keep working up. And then as soon as I run into trouble, let's say this time I get to 100, then I'll back off again, and then I'll speed up and back off. So it's not a linear progression. For me, it's very much this kind of a progression, getting to where I want to go. And it can take days and days and days to do this. It's not something where you'll necessarily get up to the speed you want to be at right away. And that's okay too. So these are great tools. They're very frustrating at first, I have to admit, but they're really worth using. It helps so much with keeping you steady. It helps so much learning passages that are too fast and that you think you may never be able to play. So I hope that you take advantage of the metronome and use it in your practice. Use it often, even though it is frustrating, because you'll notice a huge difference in your playing. Thanks for watching.